Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to give an update on Zomedica, especially from last week's flash crash, like the share price has just been falling. So I'm going to go through the fundamental analysis, so looking at the company to see if anything has changed fundamentally in the company. And also I'm going to go through the technical analysis, so looking at the stock price, basically where the stock price is currently and where I believe it's going to go to. Which leads me on to my third point. I'm going to give a price target prediction. Previous video I did on Zomedica, I gave a price target of $5. So I'm going to review that price target and let you guys know if I still believe it's going to get to $5 or if I believe it could get even further.
This video is brought to you by Weibo. If you'd like to help and support the channel, check out the link in my description box below. You can get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. For all you guys out here trying to get this bread, this is a perfect deal.
Welcome back to InvestorPrime TV. David here. If you're new, this channel is a one-stop shop for anything investment. So investment ideas, investment discussions, stock picks, when to get in the market, when to get out. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads. With that being said, let's get this bread. So one of the ways of performing fundamental analysis is to have a look at any filings that are filed with the SEC, so the Securities Exchange Commission. So one such filing I'm going to have a look at is the 8K report. So the 8K report is a supplementary report that's filed by companies that are publicly traded to the SEC. So within these reports is pretty much anything updating shareholders of what's going on with the company. So it can range from strategic moves that, let's say, the board of directors are planning to make in order to take the company forward, or it can pretty much be a warning sign from the company telling shareholders, look, we're in trouble as a company, so continue investing at your own risk. But we're going to have a look at the 8K for Zomedica just to see if, basically, we can see if there's any strengths within the company or if there's any weaknesses within the company. So we're currently on the SEC website, so having a look at the 8K or the Form 8K for Zomedica. So the part of the report that I want to point you guys to is pretty much the notes. Okay, so in particular, item 801, other events. So on March 7th, 2021, Zomedica caught the company and the holders of the company's outstanding Series 1 preferred shares, stated value $1 million per share, effected an exchange of all 12 of its outstanding Series 1 preferred shares for an aggregate of 24.7 million of the company's common shares. So before we continue, for those who don't know, I'd like to explain what preferred stock is or preferred shares. So we're currently on Investopedia. So preferred stock, what is a preferred stock? The term stock refers to ownership of equity in a company. There are two types of equity, common stock and preferred stock. Preferred stockholders have a higher claim to dividends or asset distribution than common stockholders. The details of each preferred stock depend on the issue. Preferred stockholders have a higher claim on distribution, e.g. dividends, than common stockholders. Preferred stockholders usually have no or limited voting rights in corporate governance. So basically, preferred stockholders are effectively VIPs. So these preferred stockholders or VIPs effectively wanted to invest in Zom. So they wanted a number of shares at a certain price, and for Zomedica to promise them those shares at that specific price. So preferred stockholders may pay interest, etc. for these shares. So what the 8K form article is saying is that they've effectively completed the transaction for these preferred stockholders. So the preferred stockholders have effectively got their shares, and Zomedica has received $12 million from the transaction. So what does this mean for Zomedica? So Zomedica has received $12 million, so they can use that money or that capital to reinvest in the company and effectively help grow the company. So this is very good for the company because fundamentally they have more money to play around with, basically to help them grow as a company. And also, ultimately, for the investors, it means that the share price is bound to rise because it will attract a lot more investors, and a lot more investors want to invest into Zomedica or ZOM, which will result in the share price ultimately rising as there will be more demand for the shares. So we're currently on Yahoo Finance, and I want to point you guys to the earnings, so the annual earnings and also the quarterly earnings for Zomedica. So as a company, we want to see if Zomedica are getting better through the earnings, if they're making more money as a company, or if they're losing money, they're getting worse, etc. as a company. So as we can see from the financials on the right side of Yahoo Finance, so the annual earnings for 2019 were roughly around minus $20 million, whereas for 2020, is minus $16 million. Although they're still running at a loss, but compared to 2019, they're actually making a lot more money. So in other words, they're making less of a loss, which shows that they're improving, or they've improved from 2019 to 2020. So if we have a look at the quarterly earnings, so from the quarter one of 2020, they had an earnings of minus $2.4 million. Quarter two of 2020, it dropped to minus $5.3 million. But looking at the last two quarters of 2020, the earnings have effectively been improving. So they've gone from quarter two of minus $5.3 million to quarter four of $4 million, or minus $4 million. So this shows Zomedica as a company, they're improving on their earnings. So part of improving on their earnings is effectively getting rid of certain liabilities, so like loans, paying off loans, etc., or effectively just managing their cash flow a lot better, which fundamentally shows that the company is improving. And if you're going based just on the fundamentals, then this will tell you that Zomedica is a company to invest in. So if we have a look at the chart of Zomedica Corp, so as you can see, the share price has just been falling since the 11th of February. So it's fallen from $2.86 all the way down to $1.39 or 36. But currently it's back up to $2.09 is where the last session closed. So pre-market right now is $2.06. So the share price broke a resistance on the 4th of February. So the resistance was $1.48. And since then, pretty much the share price has just taken off. And then recently the share price fell and has tested this $1.48. It's now a support, because whenever a resistance is broken, then theoretically you can see that as a support. So when that theoretical support is tested and it's proven to be an actual support, i.e. if the price tests it and bounces back off it and rises from that point, then this is seen as a good support. So Zomedica's share price has proven that the price of $1.48 is an actual good support, because it came down, tested it on the 23rd of February, it bounced back off it, and it came down to test it again on the 5th of March, and it's bounced back off it. So I believe the share price is definitely on its way up to test the $2.70 or $2.90 resistance. And then if the share price tests this and breaks the $2.90 resistance, then I believe the share price is well on its way to $5. I'm going to maintain my price target of, or my initial price target of $5. So guys, at this point, if you're currently holding Zomedica or ZOM shares, then you need to ask yourself whether or not you're holding for the short term, the mid-term, or the long term. Okay, because there'll be different outcomes based on the kind of investor you are. So whether you're short-term, mid-term, or long-term as an investor, you need to have a look at your portfolio in Zomedica, understand why you got into Zomedica in the first place, and also figure out what you're going to do with your shares. I believe the share price is going to get to $5. Okay, there was temporary volatility in the stock last week, so the stock just kept falling and falling. Nothing goes up forever and nothing falls forever. In a stock like, or a company like Zomedica, the fundamentals haven't changed. Well, they've changed in the positive direction. Okay, so which means that Zomedica as a company seems to be getting better. The financials are adding up to being a positive investment. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads. And guys, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Zomedica. Are you thinking about holding your shares? Are you thinking about getting in? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.